Hi, I'm Holly, and with my sister Heather, you're listening to Haunted Family Podcast, a weekly podcast about the paranormal, unsolved mysteries, and even some true crime.
And even.
Yes, this is take 2. The first take, Heather forgot to jump in.
I did, but it worked out great because Holly's computer froze.
Yes. Shoo.
So, I'm very sad. Did you hear that your old college dorm is getting torn down?
I did, and I've been walking every evening around campus, and I've been walking right past it. There is no sign that anything is happening yet.
Well, I think that we need to get together soon and film a walking tour of Moorhead's campus and all of the awesomely haunted sites.
Okay, I'm up for that.
Listeners, I want to apologize in advance if you hear me drinking water during this episode. The air conditioner in my house is broken, and it's really hot.
Yeah, I already called her out on it because the sound of, different sounds just drive me crazy, but the one that does it the most is like eating, drinking, that ice in a glass sound. Like, oh my God, it drives me crazy. Like when Coke does those commercials where they think that they're enticing people to grab a Coke and drink it, I literally have to plug my ears and go so I can't hear it. Like the bottle pop opening and pouring. Oh my God, it drives me crazy.
Yeah. But
it's the same with The Simpsons. Like when they do the scene where they're all sitting around the table eating, I can't listen to that. Oh my God, it drives me insane.
But I mean, right now I'm keeping my house cool by we have a portable air conditioning unit and a series of fans set up to circulate air through the house so that me and the rabbit and the birds are comfortable. But I can't keep that on while we're recording because it's loud. So until the part gets in, which should be later this week, to fix the air conditioning unit, we're just dealing with it. And the guy who normally fixes my air conditioning unit is actually, he's down right now. He just had surgery, so we're going to fix it ourselves.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's just a little minor thing. He showed me how to do it before, so I'm confident. I'm confident that we can do it.
Okay, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about Madeleine McCann, which,
yes,
honestly, she sounds like a country singer.
I know, doesn't she? And the way they spell Madeleine is different than I'm used to it being spelled, so it's going to be one of those episodes where when I do the show notes, I'll have to go back and make sure I'm spelling it right. But Madeleine Beth McCann was born on May 12th, 2003, in England. We're going across the pond for this one.
Very super close to Emmy's age.
Yeah. And she disappeared May 3rd, 2007. So they have it listed as she went missing when she was 3, which technically she was, but I mean really only for just a few days. So I'm going to think of her as she went missing as a 4-year-old. Right. So her parents, Jerry McCann and Kate McCann, and she had 2 siblings.
Twins.
They were twins, yes. So this story is a thing because the McCanns went on vacation with some friends.
A bunch of friends.
Right.
I'm not close enough to any of my friends, really. Never mind, that's not true. I've went on vacation with my friends before.
You have reenactors.
Yeah.
It's just none of you guys have kids that are little.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. That's different because we share a hobby. We're not work friends. I have never worked with anybody that I would be close enough to go on vacation with.
Okay, I am super close to all of the girls in my region, and I wouldn't go on vacation with them. Would I hang out and swim in my boss's pool? Suzanne, if you're listening, invite me over. Yes.
Wait, hold on. You mean that Hank and Leia won't let you share their pool?
Yeah, my doggies got a wading pool this week.
For those of you who don't follow Hank and Leia on their Instagram account.
Yeah, it's Princess Leia and Hank is their Instagram. Yeah, they got a new pool, which is kind of sad because my hot tub died. I had one of those Intex inflatable hot tubs, and the motor died. And the motor is like $200 and some to replace it. So I think
You can still fill it up and just use it as a little mini pool.
Well, I can't really because the pump thing is also what
inflates it. Yeah.
Yeah, it also pumps all the debris and stuff out. So it's pretty much useless to me. I think the goal is to maybe buy a small pool the size of the hot tub and just put it in the same spot.
Her backyard isn't big enough for much.
No, it's not. Anyway, but yeah, I would not go on vacation with any of my friends, and I definitely would not. I would not go on a vacation with my friends and take my children. Just because I feel like when adults get together,
but they all took their children.
The kids kind of become, I don't know, not quite the focus, and it becomes less about them and more about the adult group doing and having fun. And I mean, I could be completely and totally wrong, but that's just kind of what I think. But yeah, they all brought their kids. And so what happened? On the last night that they were in Portugal.
Well, hold on. Let's establish their pattern.
Okay.
Every evening, after the parents would put their kids to bed, they would all...
In their own hotels.
Yeah, in their own apartments or hotels or whatever it was. All the parents would gather together at the restaurant for dinner.
Now, but the restaurant is only 50 feet away. It's not like they went across town or anything.
Actually, I think it was like 185 feet. Still not 160 feet. Still not a huge distance. But you had to walk. That was if you walked a straight line. You couldn't walk a straight line because the pool separated the restaurant from the rooms.
Right. So here we are, the day of their last full day there. It's 10 o'clock a.m. and they take Madeleine and her two siblings, Sean and Amelia, and they take them to the Ocean Club's Kids Club. And that's kind of like the on-site child care center for guests. And I'm assuming that they have activities and fun stuff for the kids. So they drop them off, and then at 12:30, they pick the kids back up, and Kate and Jerry go to their apartment, which is apartment 5A. And they keep saying apartment, but we have to keep in mind this is not America. So I'm thinking that it's more like a hotel room at a resort.
Like a suite.
Yeah.
Maybe had a little mini kitchenette, a couple rooms maybe.
Yeah. So their apartment is 5A. It's on the bottom floor. They go there, they have lunch, and then they go swimming for a little while. At 2:29 p.m., that's very specific.
I can hear your kitty cat.
Yeah, she's wanting in. At 2:29 p.m., that last picture of Madeleine is taken, and it's taken by the pool. The picture actually says 1:29, but the family swears that it's off by an hour, which I don't know if anybody else with Sprint is having this issue. On a side note,
I am not.
But my phone has been changing my time zone, and it's been putting me in Chicago. So I have to, I don't know, I have to keep checking to make sure that my clock is right. Anyway, so at 3:30 the kids go back to the kids club. At 5:30, the kids eat dinner at the kids club. I'm just going to pause and say that seems really lonely to me, that the kids' vacation is pretty much spent at the kids club and not with their parents. See what I'm saying is that when you go on vacation with a group, it becomes less about your kids and more about doing stuff with the adults.
I can understand, dropping the kids off at a structured play area like that once or twice on vacation. Especially, if you're in an area different from where you normally live. Like, they're from England, they're in Portugal. To expose your kid to kids from other cultures. I can.
Oh no, every time I've taken my kids on vacation, I've spent the whole time with them doing stuff with them.
But on the other hand, isn't vacation supposed to be about family bonding?
I would think. 6 o'clock, Kate picks the kids up and they go back to the hotel, the apartment area, while Jerry goes on an hour-long tennis lesson. So at 6:30, Jerry asks David Payne, one of the people, they're calling them the Tapas 7, and that's the 7 people that were at the restaurant, if he would go and check on Kate and the children. So Jerry gets back at 7 o'clock and they put the kids to bed. And the bedroom that the kids are sleeping in overlooks the parking lot. And then right past that, there's a street. So Madeleine is placed in a single bed closest to the door. Then there's an empty bed across from that underneath the window. And then the 2 travel bed cots that the twins slept in. At 7:30, the McCanns shower and change. And then they share a bottle of wine at 8. And at 8:35, the McCanns show up at the Tapas restaurant. And what they do is they pull the door to the kids' room almost completely shut, but they don't shut it all the way. And then they come back every so often. That's the plan, is that all the parents take rotations of checking on their own kids, which seems like such an ordeal. Like, seriously, guys, why not just hang out at one person's room, put all the kids to bed in one room, and you eat room service all together? Anyway, that's
or a lot of resorts like that actually have babysitters. I don't know if this particular one does, but I know a lot offer that service.
So at 8:55,
I just think it is very negligent to leave your children, especially children as young as 4, alone in a hotel room
in a different country.
Yes. In the United States, you leave your children alone for, an hour. You leave your children alone for 30 minutes. You're getting social services called on you.
Yep.
I don't care if these were a bunch of doctors and lawyers. Every one of them were negligent and put their children in danger.
At 8:55, Matt Oldfield goes to check on his own room. And he tells the Paynes, who are still in their apartment, that everybody else is already there. So at 9:05, Jerry goes back to the apartment and he opens the unlocked patio door. Okay, see, I could almost see you're leaving your kids alone, but you lock the doors. But no, they left the patio door unlocked.
A friend of ours this week posted something, I think it was from the Humane Society, about how dogs are better deterrents for burglars than guns. So I did some research. And yeah, dogs are. But only when... Dogs are good deterrents, but only when it's a big dog and the robbery is taking place in the middle of the day when the homeowners aren't home. All of this is irrelevant to the point I'm actually getting at. Almost every one of the burglars that was interviewed stated that their primary access point to enter homes was through unlocked windows and doors. Lock your doors, people. Lock your doors.
When I moved from here to Lexington the first time, we had a sliding glass door that was out on our patio, and we were on the ground floor. And I researched how to secure that, barring somebody just breaking the window. And so I had a couple bars that I put down so that it couldn't be jimmied and just opened.
Because they're so easy to just...
They are. I mean, now somebody could have broken the door, but by the time they broke the door, I would have been standing there with a gun. So anyway, 9:05, Jerry goes back and checks on the kids. Goes through the unlocked patio door. And he sees that the kids' bedroom door is now, they had it just slightly ajar, but now it's open 45 degrees. He thinks it's kind of odd, but he doesn't really think anything too much of it. He opens the door, sees that all the kids are asleep, puts the door back at 5 degrees, uses the restroom.
That's very specific, too.
And then leaves. Yeah, okay. I honestly, when I heard this, especially since the time frame that happens next, I honestly thought, I bet you that the kidnapper was already in there. I mean, he used the restroom, so he was probably not hiding there, but maybe behind the door, or, like, I don't know if there was a closet in that room or what, but I almost bet everything that it was already set in motion at that moment, that whoever was going to take Madeleine was already in that room. But, I mean, again, I could be wrong because we don't know. At 9:08, Jerry is leaving, and he sees Jeremy Wilkins, another person that's staying at the resort, and they start talking. Well, while they're talking, Jane Tanner, who was part of their group at the table, gets up and walks past them so that she could go check on her kids. Well, at this time, she sees a man walking at the top of the road in front of her, and he's leaving the apartment area carrying a sleeping girl in pink pajamas. Okay, she thinks this is odd, but again, she doesn't say anything because she thinks, well, people are on vacation. It's probably just a parent moving their sleeping child. Okay, so then at 9:30...
I know that you and I, if one of us saw something like that while on vacation, we'd say something to each other.
Right, but I mean, that's us, and we also wouldn't leave sleeping kids alone in an unlocked hotel room either.
Listen, Holly's children are like teenagers. And when we were in Boston, we wouldn't even leave them both in the room by themselves while we walked to the car that was at the end of the hotel room, or at the end of the hotel block, to get our stuff out. Just
and we
in
could
case.
see the door.
We are like super hyper paranoid of, yeah.
Okay, so at 9:30, Kate gets up to go check on the kids. Matthew Oldfield and Russell O'Brien are getting up to check on their kids. Well, Oldfield said that he'll check on the McCann children. He goes in and he notices that the door's open again, but he doesn't know that it was shut at any degree before. He just thinks that the door is open. He looks around. He sees that the twins are in their bed. Doesn't actually see Madeleine. He actually doesn't see her bed from the angle that he's standing at. And he doesn't go on into the room to make sure that all three of the kids are there. He just sees that the twins are there, assume everything is good, and he leaves. And he couldn't say later if the window had been opened or closed or anything. At 10 o'clock, Kate checks on the kids, and this is when all hell breaks loose. That's when she realizes that the window is open, because she goes to shut the door, but the door slams shut, the door to the kids' room. The twins are sleeping. Madeleine's bed is empty. So right after 10, Rachel Oldfield goes to Tanner's apartment to tell them that Madeleine has been taken, and that's when Tanner says, "Oh, I saw a man carrying a little girl." 10:15, they go down to the 24-hour reception at the bottom of the hill. Police are called, and everybody is alerted that a child has been kidnapped. Police arrive on the scene at 10:30. Around 4 a.m., they call off the search. It all happened super fast, which is what makes me think that the kidnapper was in the room.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of speculation online that the parents actually killed her and then dumped the body, or accidentally overdosed her with Benadryl and then dumped the body. But they're tourists in this country. How would they know where to dump a body and it actually stay hidden for all these years?
Right. No, I don't think that was the case at all. I think they were just focused on having fun and being with adults, and their kids were not a priority. I mean, I hate to say that, but doesn't that kind of seem like what that is?
Yes. And I think that since they were so hands off while they were in Portugal, that it was very easy for a predator to spot their child, learn their routine, and take her.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I'm just so paranoid about things like that. Like, I work in childcare, and we have all kinds of protocols in Kentucky for making sure that kids are with who they're supposed to be with while they're at the centers, for pickup, for drop off. You know, we do a really good job here of making sure that kids are accounted for. And it worries me, places like that have a on-site facility, because you know that they're not licensed. And
I mean, I'm sure in the United States,
you don't
places
know who
like
is standing there.
Yeah, I'm sure like places in the United States have to be licensed, even if they're in a hotel. But I mean, we don't know about what Portugal has in place for their hotel on-site daycares.
Right. And I just worry that there could be people observing children.
We've had friends who've used the on-site play areas on cruises, and they're very strict protocols for those. But I mean, I don't know. I don't think that the McCanns were really fully thinking through all the things that could go wrong. And I understand getting caught up in vacation, in fun. But there's also a lot of bad, sucky people in the world.
No, and it seems to me that they should have just left their kids at home.
With a family member, or... Yeah.
Okay, so theories on what could have happened to her. So, burglary gone wrong. There was actually a string of break-ins at the apartment across from, and I'm not even going to attempt to say the name of this place because I know it's going to be wrong. So, anyway, there was some break-ins in the area. Which, to me, the resort had the obligation then to say, hey, there's been some break-ins, you might want to double check your security on your rooms just to make sure that nothing gets stolen or taken from your rooms, like your child. I mean, I'm still just shaking my head at the fact that they left their door unlocked. Okay, so in 2013, Scotland Yard announced that they were looking into people who were going around collecting money for fake charities. And they think that maybe they could have taken Madeleine, although I'm not really for sure why. Why would they take her? Stolen and then sold to a childless couple. I think that this one is extremely plausible, especially since their routine had been the same up until this night. That anybody could observe the fact that they're dropping their kids off and then leaving the door unlocked and then just coming back and checking. So they knew that there could be a 30-minute time window where they could get in, steal a kid, and get out.
You seem to be on a roll with summing up this timeline.
Okay, so then another theory, and I think this theory is complete and total BS, is that she just decided to wander off.
Okay, now 4-year-olds do crazy things like just wander away.
They do.
But there's no evidence that this is the case.
Right. And I would assume that if she wandered off, there's not too many places that a 4-year-old could go in a resort that she wouldn't be seen walking around by some adult.
This is something else that has bothered me, though. Where in the world was the security cameras?
Well, this was in 2003.
Yeah?
Right?
But, I mean, like, there were security cameras in 2003? Maybe not in Portugal, though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've never been to Portugal. I don't know what they have there. Okay, I hate this one, but picked up by human traffickers.
This is very plausible.
I know. She was a very cute girl. And, okay, I'm holding out hope that she was given to a childless couple for money and that she's being raised and she's safe and she's happy.
There has been reported sightings of her.
Because I just can't, I don't even want to think about the fact that she was sold into any kind of slavery.
I know. The fact that there are so many, I mean, and we're talking millions of people in slavery today, even little children, just, oh my God, that kills me. It kills me. But, I mean, there's been sightings of her, not absolutely 100% confirmed sightings, but there has been very plausible sightings of her since her disappearance. So, there is a very good chance that she is still alive.
Right, and I really hope that what ends up happening is like, you know, down the road she realizes who she is. And then she comes out and is like, oh, no, I'm fine. Everything's good. My name's just Jennifer now or something. You know, I mean, it doesn't have to be Jennifer. It could be anything. But yeah, I mean, another theory is that the parents accidentally killed her. And while I don't think that was ever their plan, I honestly just don't even think that it happened like that.
There is absolutely zero evidence that they were even, I don't know how the rumor on the internet got started that they were dosing their children with Benadryl to keep them asleep. But there is no evidence to that.
I mean, they might have been. I'm just saying that it's a very, very common thing for parents to do shit like that.
I actually sat on a jury of a trial where a grandmother was being charged with killing her grandson by accidentally overdosing him with Benadryl that she was using to keep him, to put him to sleep.
Yeah. My first, well, it's my second job in my field, but it was my first, like, real big girl job. And I worked with almost all of my parents were professionals. So, doctors, lawyers, business owners, that kind of thing. And I was always so surprised when the doctors would tell me about Benadryl in their kids before they would leave for vacation so that the kids would sleep in the car. I'm just like, what the fuck are you guys thinking?
I'm going to say Holly's children are absolutely amazing at road trips. And they have always been.
That's because we all get car sick and sleep. We don't even have to be drugged. It just happens.
Well, except for Abby. Abby is my number one go-to navigator. Abby rode shotgun while we were driving through downtown Boston because I cannot have my sister in the passenger seat while I'm trying to concentrate on the road.
Huh. How dare you?
You know it's true. No. I think it is very sad that this poor child's last week was full of so much neglect from her parents.
Yeah. Well, we say last week.
This should have been a fun family time together, and instead the kids spent pretty much their entire vacation in daycare.
Yeah, it sucks. But the investigation is still ongoing, even though we're 11 years after the fact. It's just really there's no new evidence really. They did go try to track down the wife of a pedophile that was in the area, and people were referring to her as the lady in purple because she may or may not have been wearing a plum colored outfit, but it turned out that lead was wrong. So really it's kind of just stagnant.
While researching for this case, and I do this with most cases similar to this, I try to find the official website. You know, most missing people, especially if they've gained any sort of attention, have their own website dedicated to them. And right. Madeleine McCan is no different. It's findmadeleine.com. And I was disappointed. Usually you go to these websites and it's very detailed. And we could draw, in the past, we could draw most of the actual hard facts that we use in our episode from just the official website.
Oh, especially that girl that went missing at the Metallica concert?
Yes. Her family had a top-notch website dedicated to her.
Right, and she had already been found. I mean, not alive, but she was found, and their website was still up, and it was amazing.
But there's very little actual information about Madeleine McCan and her disappearance. There's just a brief little few paragraph summary of what Madeleine McCan as a child was like. A little ad for them shilling their book because the mother wrote a book. But there's not a time, at least not that I can find. There's not a timeline of the case. There is a current missing persons flyer with an age-progressed picture on it. We really did not find the website to be a very valid resource in finding information on the facts about Madeleine McCann's disappearance. There has actually been the parents and some of their friends who was there have actually filed lawsuits against several newspapers, tabloids, for slander because the press was very harsh on the McCanns and their friends over her disappearance, calling into question their integrity, and
I'm calling into question their skills as parents. Who in the world goes on vacation anywhere, much less to a different country, and leaves the door to your room open with your sleeping children there. I'm sorry, they honestly should be arrested for that. They should lose custody of the other 2 kids.
If not lose custody, they should at least have social services with the British equivalent brought in to make sure that there is some proper parenting classes and proper parenting techniques. I do not believe that it is ever appropriate to leave your children alone like that.
No. I mean, my kids are teenagers, and I don't even leave them alone in the house.
Abby is a full-fledged adult now, Holly.
And I still don't leave her alone.
She is over the age of 18. She is free, wide, and over 18. But scary. She should still be a little baby asking for nims. But no. I mean, my heart is broken for poor little Madeleine. And my only hope in this whole case, and I remember thinking this when I first heard about her disappearances, that I hope that she was abducted by somebody who placed her with somebody else, like, adopted her out to another family.
I know, that's what I hope too.
That is still horrible, but it is better than a lot of the other alternatives.
Yeah, really. I mean, that's best case scenario.
But I don't believe, there are so many wild conspiracy theories online about the parents killing her, and I just don't believe any of that.
No, I don't either. I wish we had a conclusion. I always hate the unsolved mystery episodes because I hate not knowing what happened.
Yeah, me too. I mean, and it's, they, at least when they got pregnant with her, they desperately wanted her. They went through fertility treatments. You don't do that if you just kind of sort of want a kid.
I know, and that's what baffles me, because I did that with Abby. And it made me, as a parent, it made me a helicopter parent, honestly. I don't let her out of my sight. Still, she has to check in even if she does go somewhere. I take her to school every day, drop her off every day. I mean, she's graduated now. But, every day I take her to school.
You're probably going to drive her to college every day?
Well, she'll probably just walk because it's walking distance. I'll probably allow that.
Technically, so was her high school, but it was a lot more dangerous to walk there. Her entire life was me. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know how to word it. But I was just so grateful to get pregnant with her that I wasn't about to do anything to fuck it up. I wasn't about to let her get hurt. She was not grateful to get pregnant with Emmy. She actually said, I don't know if I can ever love another child as much as I love Abby.
Yeah, I know. And I cried for 9 months.
Then Emmy came along, and Emmy is just...
I know. Thankfully, she's such a good-natured child that she laughs at the fact that I said that instead of, getting hurt.
No, Emmy...
She's just like, Mom is stupid.
Emmy is an amazing child. And I can say this, even though Emmy hated me for her first, 3 years. Wouldn't let me anywhere near her. But a lot of bad decisions was made on the family's part. And I hate it when stupid mistakes lead to outcomes like this.
Well, I mean, you shouldn't be making mistakes like leaving your kid alone and leaving the door unlocked.
I mean, I don't even leave my house door unlocked at night. And I can take care of myself. Why would you leave, little tiny children? I mean, not only that, but they could have wandered off.
Right.
What would that parent have thought if their kid had wandered out and fallen into the pool and drowned?
And that's possible.
So I think, regardless of what ultimately happened, her parents do carry some of the blame on themselves. And I know we're in this culture now where we're not supposed to blame the parents. But no, sometimes you really do have to just blame the parents.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to say, no, I'm sorry. You're being a crappy parent.
Yeah. I don't think that just because you birth a child that makes you the be-all, end-all, most knowledgeable person ever about raising your child. I mean, if that was the case, we wouldn't have to have social workers. Because
and our social workers wouldn't be so overworked.
Ain't that the truth? I mean, all of my friends that are social workers work a billion hours. They're tired. All they want you to do is parent your damn kids.
My boyfriend's cousin is a social worker. She has 3 kids of her own. She's a single parent. And I don't know how she does it. I seriously don't. She posted a picture on Facebook the other day. She somehow managed to get all 3 of her kids dressed, 2 to school, 1 to daycare. Got to work and realized she put her dress on backwards.
Oh.
Be good and responsible parents. And you know, sometimes you gotta realize that maybe you're not cut out to be a parent.
Truth.
Not all of us are meant to have kids. And it's okay to admit that you're not supposed to have children and not have children.
Right. I mean, we've got lots of friends who, well, not lots, but we have several friends who have decided that they don't want kids because they know that the life that they want for themselves would not be good for kids. And I applaud that. I mean, don't have kids if you're not willing to give them what they need. And throwing money at them and taking them on vacations out of the country for the experience is not necessarily what they need. It's fun until they get kidnapped, but it's not necessarily what they need.
And by the same token, we also have friends who probably should not have had children.
That's true too.
We won't name any names, but if you're listening and you're one of our friends and you're thinking that we might be talking about you, we might be talking about you. This case just sucks.
It does. I always hate when we have cases like this.
I have a picture of Madeleine pulled up on my computer, and it's just so sad because she's so sweet looking.
Yeah. Well, let's think about something funny. Do we have a stupid criminal?
We do. Actually, we have a couple. I don't know which one you want to use.
Okay, let's use a couple. Because the one that you sent me today has to be done.
Okay, let me find the other one then, and I'll start with the other one.
Okay, let's do the Viennese sausage. Okay, so this one happened in Monroe, Louisiana.
Isn't that where the Duck Dynasty people are from?
Oh, I don't know. I don't watch that thing.
I don't either, but I think that's where they're from.
Okay, so Andrea Smith had kind of an ongoing minor feud with her neighbor, Donald Traylor. He just kind of annoyed her, like pull the chair out from underneath her, that kind of thing. She said that she asked Traylor for, I don't know how, okay, I know that different people pronounce this different ways. We call it Viennese sausages, but I know that some people actually call it Vienna sausages because they're fancy.
But it's Viennese around here.
It's Viennese around here. Actually, this is what I had for breakfast this morning too, just tossing that out. That's how redneck I am. So Smith asked Traylor for some Viennese sausages. They were hanging out in the yard, in her yard. And he wouldn't give her any, and she got mad. And she said, I am a lady, but sometimes I get upset, and before I know it, I backhanded him. I almost knocked him out of his electric wheelchair.
I love that.
Okay, then Traylor pulled a knife out and then he said that Smith fell on it, and that's how she got cut. And she said, okay, and I'm going to have to do this in my best Southern accent because I feel like this needs it. Oh, no, honey. He raised up out of that chair and sliced me. I didn't fall on no knife. He did that. See, I feel like it needed that.
Yes.
Frankly, she said she wasn't mad about the sausage at all. She was just mad because he refused to leave her yard after messing with her property. So.
That's definitely very redneck Southern.
It is. I'm honestly surprised that it happened in Louisiana, because that totally sounds like something that would happen on my street.
Yes. Okay, well, the one that I have is a little closer to home.
Yes.
A few counties up the road from me. I could be considered a very hippie-ish, back to nature type person.
Not me.
I garden. I walk around barefoot. I sometimes dance naked under the moonlight.
No, you don't.
Shh, our listeners don't know that. But I can honestly say that I have never been arrested buck naked, sitting in the flower pot outside of a hospital emergency room at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I don't know why not. Everybody else has.
When officers arrived, Bridget Mullins, 44, of Ashcamp, Kentucky, was sitting in the flower bed completely naked, and she told officers she was becoming one with Mother Earth. She refused all offers to put her clothes on, and when officers decided that they were going to force her to put her clothes on and handcuff her, she became combative and knocked both of them on their butts. So they had to call in hospital security to come help them, and it took 4 grown men to wrestle this woman's clothes on and put her in handcuffs. She has been charged with indecent exposure, disorderly conduct, and resisting arrest. All because she decided that she was going to become one with Mother Earth at 3 o'clock in the morning outside of a very busy...
Oh, but very busy. This is one of... Like, in eastern Kentucky, this is the biggest hospital.
Yeah, and it is the only level 3 trauma center in our area. It's always busy. And she was just sitting naked in the flower bed.
Crazy.
Yeah. They didn't say that she was intoxicated, so she might have been absolutely perfectly stone cold sober.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because usually if they're on anything,
they get hit with that charge too.
Yeah. So, thanks for listening. As always, visit my shop, Cat Hair Glitter, on Etsy. And visit Podbean to sign up for your own podcast using our affiliate code Haunted Family PB.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. Bye.